big, beautiful, loving planet called Earth, I wanted to talk about weekends and how I spend my weekends. Now, not every single weekend I do something, outdoors, like whether that be going to the movies or going to breakfast or doing anything like that. But there are certain weekends that I like to do things outdoors, even though technically going to the movie theater isn't really outdoors. But, and I'm going to talk a little bit here. Ever since I turned 30, there's a different way I look at weekends than I did when I was in my 20s. For example, I used to go to the bar almost every weekend when I was in my 20s. I don't do that anymore. I don't go to bars. I don't go to clubs or anything like that, even though I've never been to a club. But I used to go to two specific bars quite a bit in my 20s. Now that I've turned in my 30s, I don't really do that anymore. The fun things that I do now are going to the grocery store, going to the pet store, going to breakfast, going to the movies. Even though, I did go to the movies a lot when I was in my 20s by myself, because that's what I normally do. And it's okay to go to movies by yourself. It's okay to want to do grocery shopping, and if you have a pet, go get your pet litter if you have a cat, or get your dog or cat food, or get yourself a different type of pet where you feed them crickets or anything like that. But yeah, that's what I do now that I'm in my 30s. Is when I want to go see a movie, I ask first, and then I go. Because going to the movies can be a fun thing. Well, no matter what movie it is, some movies are bad. I will say that. Some movies are okay, and some movies are pretty good. Or I should say good, and some movies are great, and some movies are extremely amazing. But it's very rare that I will see a movie that gets in that category of extremely amazing. It's usually great, good, alright, or bad. That's how I determine which movies I want to go see. Like, for example, there is a movie that is opening this weekend called Bike Riders with Tom Hardy, Austin Butler, Jodie Comer, even Norman Reedus is in it. There's a bunch of individuals you may or may not have heard of, but it looks like it could be a good film. It's based on true events from a motorcycle gang in Chicago in 1968 or 65, something like that. And it looks like it could be a good film to go and see. That's what my life in my 30s consists of. Now, don't get me wrong. There are other things I do outside besides just going to the movies, going to the grocery store, or going to the pet store, or things like that. Like, I go to events too. Like, you've seen me talk, or you've heard me talk about the YouTube convention a bunch. You've heard me talk about Comic-Cons that I've been to before. You've heard me talk about going to amusement parks and theme parks and things like that before. You've seen trips that I've taken outside of California, like when I've gone to Nevada and I've gone to Arizona and places like that. But I don't really like going to bars. I don't really like going to casinos as much as even though I really don't like gambling at all, unless it's like a football or college basketball game. College football, by the way. Twice a year I will do that. I don't like to gamble. I don't like to drink. I don't like to do any of that stuff anymore now that I've reached my 30s. And it's not a bad thing to not want to do those things, by the way. It's just, for me personally, that's how I'm going to live my life. I'm going to do it in a responsible way. And sure, I don't have my own apartment or my own place. I don't have all that stuff. But I still do adult-like things, even though I'm not, doing them for myself. I'm doing it for other individuals as well as myself. But I don't like to go to bars. I don't like to go to. I went to Las Vegas once in my 30s, and that was for my 30th birthday. Other than that, I don't really like to go to a casino or a bar or a place that that I don't want to go to. There are places I still want to go to that aren't those places that are kind of amazing and cool and awesome and all of those things. And we'll just have to work on that and be who we are. So we've got a couple of birthdays to wish today. So I want to wish Sophie Dossie a happy birthday. I want to wish Rebecca Black a happy birthday. I want to wish Elizabeth Woolidge Grant. You may also know her as Lana Del Rey. And I want to wish Erica Durant's Palfy a happy birthday today as well. And that does it for birthdays today. The next time we have a birthday is tomorrow on YouTube. And then as far as Instagram, we don't have a birthday again until Monday. And then we're getting down to the end of June. Because the end of June is a week from Sunday. Because, yeah, so that's what... And then we move into July, and then August, and then September. September, there's a trip happening. There's a trip happening in June as well. Hopefully, I'm in the works on that whole situation and figuring out the details of that. But yeah, there's just one trip in September, and then once we get through September, it's Halloween month, and then we've got Thanksgiving, and then Christmas, and then before we know it, 2024 will be over, and we'll be in 2025. Anyways, I will see you all tomorrow with a brand new vlog, and bye-bye.